So imagine, if you will, walk into your home and it instantly knows you're there and exactly what you want. It adjusts the lights, sets the perfect temperature, and even reminds you to take your vitamins. Sounds like a scene from a sci fi movie, right? Well, it's not. And this could be your reality. Today, I'm sharing the top 5 must have devices that will help future proof your smart home for 2025. So let's dive in. Today, we're diving into the future of smart homes. With technology evolving at lightning speed, it's crucial to future proof your home. And future proof is not as easy to say as you think it is. So let's explore the top 5 must have devices for 2025 that will transform your living space. Oh, and don't forget, hit that thumbs up for me. I would sure appreciate it. So, first up, we have the Smart Hub. This is the brain of your smart home, connecting all your devices seamlessly. In 2025, the smart hubs that are available are not only integrated with existing devices, but also adapt to new technology as they emerge. Imagine controlling everything from your lights to your thermostat with just one app. And depending on your preference of mobile device, that's going to probably determine which app and smart home technology ecosystem that you use. For example, I'm an Android user, so I use the Google Smart Home system. And I can tell you, over the past 6 months, there's been a lot of advancements and improvements in that entire system. It responds faster, it has less errors, and I've really actually enjoyed some of the changes they've added to it. Like Gemini, for example. They're adding Gemini into the smart home hub, so it has a much higher level of communication capability, a much more natural sounding voice, and it's been great. Now, of course, you have the HomeKit for Apple. And of course, there's Alexa. Now, Alexa is kind of cross platform, which is nice. So, if you want to embed into the Alexa home ecosystem, you have the Alexa Echo Hub and its Echo devices, which include like speakers and all kinds of different components. And that can actually be used with Google, or I should say Android, and it can also be used with Apple. And pretty much any smartphone out there is going to be able to use the app that you're going to be able to use to control that. Now, another cool thing about Alexa that I really like, even though I don't really use the ecosystem, I have tested it, is the fact that the Alexa hub is included in a lot of smart appliances, which we're going to get to that in a minute. So make sure you stick around. And with that capability, you don't even have to have like a separate hub. So for example, I have a Samsung smart refrigerator that has a built-in Alexa hub. And so I don't have to have a separate device to be able to use the entire Alexa product line and the Alexa smart assistant. It's already built in there. So it's pretty nice. But if you don't have any kind of smart home technology that already has the Alexa hub built in, then you're going to need to buy a hub. But these new hubs, they integrate themselves so well and they're so easy to manage and manipulate. It makes it so easy. The barrier to entry now is so low and so easy to build a simple but effective smart home that it's insane. I love it. I just absolutely love it. Smart home technology has been one of the most amazing things for me with technology. And I'm in technology. I've been in technology for over 30 years as IT administrator and a sysadmin. And I got into smart home technology, I don't know, probably 15 years ago or so, 16 years ago. I think the Google Nest thermostat was my first smart device. But it has changed so much since then. It's so much easier to handle and manipulate and manage. And there's devices like Homey, which you see over here, kind of in the back right there, lit up. It actually acts as a hub that you can integrate your Google and Alexa into, that has infrared, it has Zigbee, Z-Wave. You can actually get the Pro version that has Matter Hub built into it. So there's a lot of options, and it also gives you way more control over how all of these different devices you might have in your home integrate and work together. So the Smart Hub is really something you really want to put some thought into and make sure that whatever you're using, it's going to fit well with your existing devices, primarily your smart devices as far as your smartphones. You can find pretty much anything to work with Alexa or Google and not have an issue. You know, lights, cameras, door locks. There's so many options out there. And of course, like Homey over here, Homey, it pretty much integrates with all of it. And it has some of its own built-in integrations with some of the, like SwitchBot, for example. So if you were to use like the Homey system, that system is going to give you a really powerful, elevated experience, but yet it's still easy to set up. So that's the hub. That's the brain. Definitely want to kind of start there and figure out what ecosystem you want to be in, which is going to kind of steer your decision making on what hub to buy. If you're an Apple based user and like all your phones or iPhones, you have iPads and iMacs and all that other Apple equipment, you're probably going to want to use HomeKit or Alexa. And you can actually combine the use of both of those. You can use, okay, let me back up. You can use Google with Apple. It works just fine. You can install the Google Home app. You can integrate, control your devices, but the HomeKit ecosystem will not work on an Android device. So you have to use Apple for that. I'm a firm believer that if you are really embedded in a particular ecosystem, so for example, if you are a heavy Apple user, you'd probably want to stick with HomeKit only because the integration with all of your devices is seamless. And there are certain home devices like the Apple TV that are a HomeKit hub already within themselves. So you don't have to buy another device. So that's why I say that, you really need to put some thought into like what you're already using that's going to kind of help steer the direction in some regards as to what hub and ecosystem for your smart devices that you're going to go into. So like, for example, there's some devices don't support HomeKit. So that might be another issue to look at, but that's getting less and less and less. You're going to be able to find any kind of device you want to support your smart home. So if you have any questions, comments, make sure you put them down in the comments section. I'll be happy to get back to you, answer any questions. I know it may sound a little confusing, but it's really not. It's really simple. There's actually a guide that I have linked. It's just a simple, how to set up your smart home guide, kind of a 5 bullet point PDF. You just have to put your email address in just because it emails you the PDF. I don't use your email address for marketing or spamming you or anything like that. You probably won't even hear from me unless I come out with a new document that I think might be helpful. Then I can email that to you. But you definitely want to check that out. So again, any questions, comments, let me know. Be happy to help. So let's move on to the next device. So the next thing I want to talk about is energy management systems. And these smart devices monitor and optimize energy usage, helping you save money. And in the future, they'll learn to use AI to learn habits and suggest more efficient ways you could manage your energy usage by cutting off lights or changing how equipment works and things like that. So these devices are going to consist of like your thermostats and smart switches where you can turn a device on and off. The smart thermostat is probably one of the first smart devices you're going to want to get for your home, bar none. It enables you to manage your energy usage to where when you're not at home, you're not running the air conditioner at, well, we run it at 68 degrees. I know that's a little cooler than most people do, but like when you're gone, you can have it, automatically set to 72, 73, 74, whatever you want. And then when you come home, it'll automatically be cooled to the temperature or heated to the temperature that you want and have kind of preset. Like the Google thermostat learns your patterns. So it actually builds a schedule based on how you adjust it if you do any adjustments outside of like a preset. And so it kind of learns your schedule and can set that schedule for you where you don't even have to think about it. So it's just super smart. I'm sure, thermostats like Ecobee and Honeywell, I think, makes one. There's, a lot of different manufacturers that make smart thermostats now. I'm sure they all do the same thing. I personally use Google's Nest thermostat. I have two of them in my home because I have two units, upstairs, downstairs. And the Nest Learning thermostat is by far probably the best one that you'd want to get. They do have one that's a little bit less expensive, but it doesn't have some of the learning and AI capabilities. And they just came out with a new version of the thermostat that's phenomenal. It's got a beautiful screen on it. So you definitely want to take a look at that. Again, all of this information and devices are going to be linked in the description. So you want to go check that out. And they are affiliate links. So if you do purchase, thank you so much. I appreciate it. It helps the channel out. Doesn't cost you anything. Just Amazon pays me a little commission. And again, any questions, let me know. But thermostat, definitely a must have. Smart plugs, definitely a must have. And, let's say you have a device that's not smart. Let's say, like, for example, we have a ice maker that sits on our counter. I can have that ice maker turn off and turn on at specific times. So like we go on vacation, I turn it off because I don't need it running constantly making ice when we're not home. And then what I'll have it do is I can either manually turn it on remotely, or I'll have a schedule set if I know when I'm going to be coming home that it'll automatically turn it on, let's say, 6 hours or 12 hours before I get there. So that way it's making ice. Those kinds of things can help save you a lot of money in your energy cost and expense because you're not running these devices when you're not there and using them. So again, thermostats, plugs, huge for your first purchase of your smart home devices and will definitely help with your energy consumption. So on to number 3. Now we're going to talk about advanced security systems. Security should be a top priority for any smart home, honestly. And in 2025, expect a lot of AI integration between facial recognition, smart alerts. Those types of functionalities are going to be more and more prevalent with these new cameras and whatnot. So, for example, let's take my house. I have 2 different cameras that I use on the exterior and interior of my home. On the interior, I have a couple of the Google Nest indoor cameras. I have a baby's room where when my grandbabies come over, we monitor the room when they're sleeping. And I also have one in my garage, which monitors the garage area just for, if something happens or make sure the garage is closed, which is a big deal. But the other aspect is, the other device I use is the MyQ cameras. And I also have a MyQ smart keypad that has a video camera in it that's mounted to my garage door. Now, I'm going to tell you that keypad has been amazing. And when it first came out, it got a lot of flack because of the battery, and the battery wouldn't last that long. Now, I got probably about 6 weeks, maybe 8 weeks out of the battery, which isn't too bad. But shortly thereafter, they had so much complaining from people having batteries that were running down in 2 weeks, which is terrible. Okay, that should never happen. That they came out with a wired solution. Now, I can just tell you from my troubleshooting and kind of investigating that whole battery issue, I think the problem is with the wireless radio in the actual device. It draws so much power. And of course, the camera functionality added on top of that, if you had a really weak signal, which would cause the device to constantly be trying to pull a wireless signal, it ran the battery dead so fast. I have a pretty good signal. I actually have a access point in my garage, So it has super strong signal. So that's never a problem. But I've heard from a lot of people on some of the other videos that I've posted on this channel where they were having 2, 3 weeks. And of course, I can tell you this, if I had a smart device that the battery ran dead in 2 or 3 weeks, it would be in the trash. I'm not going to change or charge a battery every 3 weeks. That's ridiculous. So I'm really, really glad that MyQ listened to their consumers and came out with a wired solution. And I actually have a video on this channel where I show you how that solution is installed and how it works. And it's been phenomenal. And even though I didn't have to change mine that often, it's been nice not have to worry about the battery. Now, yes, when the power goes out in the house, so does the camera. Whereas with the battery, it still functioned. But the solution to that is just put a small battery backup where you have the camera plugged in. Then you could have an extended period of time when the power goes out that you're still able to record. So like all of my access points and my modem and my router are all on batteries. So when the power goes out, my internet is still functional for probably a good, I don't know, an hour after the power goes out. Because, I'm using a fiber connection. So as long as my modem is up and running, I have internet. And that's by design that I do that because I want to make sure that if the power does go out when I'm not home, then I can still check in on what's going on by the cameras. Now, not every camera has a battery connected to it, only certain ones. So I don't have every single camera that's battery operated. But it does have a few, including that keypad. So it makes it really easy to be able to monitor what's happening at the house, even if the power's out. So that's definitely a pro tip that if you have a wired camera, just put a really small battery backup, and I'll link some devices. APC is an excellent unit. Obviously, you can't have it in the weather, but if it's in your garage, in the house, it's going to be fine. So you can plug your devices into the battery, and even the smallest battery backup is going to give you at least an hour of runtime for a small camera and maybe an access point or a routing device that you're going to use for your home. So you definitely want to take a look at that because it's made it so much easier and given me so much more peace of mind that when I'm not home, if something were to happen, I can still check in. So MyQ has been amazing. I have a outdoor camera that's mounted to the house. I have the video keypad. I have a door lock that's integrated with the keypad and another another camera I have in the garage. So that way, if something happens, it will automatically lock the interior door. It also gives me the ability of using Amazon's in-garage delivery, which has been huge. So like if we know it's going to be raining for a few days and we need to order some packages, we can use in-garage delivery. Amazon driver comes up, scans the package. My garage door goes up. My interior door locks. He puts the package in the garage, scans it again. Garage door closes. Once the garage door closes, my interior door unlocks, and it is awesome. We've used it many, many times, and it is great. I love it. So a lot of functionality there. As you can see, smart components and devices give you so much more capabilities in your home that it's crazy. So again, any questions, comments, hit me up. MyQ is awesome. I'm going to link all that in the description. Fantastic products. I cannot recommend them enough. So now that we've covered security, on to number 4. And now here we're going to talk about smart appliances that I referenced earlier. And this is an area where I think a lot of people don't even know some of these devices exist. And it actually has been extremely, extremely helpful. And so let me tell you how my house is with smart appliances. I'm a big Samsung user. I love Samsung products. People say they're really expensive, and they are a little more expensive than some other components or some other manufacturers. But I can tell you over the course of the last 20 years, I have never had a Samsung product fail due to it being defective, just worn out, which things wear out, right? So back, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago, we bought a non smart Samsung washer and dryer. Well, we got 15 years out of it before we had to replace them. When we replaced them, we bought new Samsung washer and dryer that was a smart washer and dryer. So you hook it to Wi-Fi, you hook it to the Smart Things app on my phone, and now that app can monitor the washer and dryer, and it can give me alerts if something's wrong. I can even like set a wash parameter, send it to the washer. You just walk up, hit start, boom, and your wash starts. Obviously, you can't start it remotely because if there's no clothes in the washer, why do you want to run it, right? Same with the dryer. You can actually set dryer parameters and then just walk up and hit start and boom, it's done. Because you can send it to the device, load your clothes, hit start, and it's already programmed the way you programmed it. So it's been really, really convenient. Now, on the refrigerator side of things, that's been really awesome as well because, again, like I was referencing, it's actually a Amazon Alexa hub. So I can integrate all the Alexa functionality if I wanted to use that system with the refrigerator and not even buy an extra hub. So it's been awesome. I love the gigantic screen on the front. I'll show you some pictures. I have pictures of my grandkids and our vacations and things that kind of scroll through. When I walk up to it, it'll automatically, turn on and start showing you the pictures. Then I just touch the screen. I can get a calendar. I can see what's in the refrigerator, which I don't really use that. I think that's kind of weird because first off, it doesn't see what's in the door. It only sees what's in the refrigerator. So like, milk, tea, water, sodas, those are all in the door. I have no idea if I need some or not. But I don't really use that feature. That's just, to me, that's a little gimmicky. I guess maybe if you were at the store and you really needed to know something, you could look and see, but it's not really that functional. What is functional though, is being able to control the temperature and being able to control the functions of the actual split refrigerator slash freezer. So at the bottom, there's two freezer sections. And one section, I'm actually able to turn that into a refrigerator part, not a freezer part. It also alerts me when the filter for the water needs to be replaced, which is super convenient because you don't know if you don't get the alert, right? It's just, again, all of these things are really, as far as the appliances go, are about convenience. There's not any security related functionality or anything like that. It's really just about convenience. But isn't that what a smart home really is supposed to be? Like, it's supposed to help make your life easier, right? So these things have been really, really fun to actually have in the house. And I'm sure as time goes on, they're going to be incorporating a lot of the AI features that some of these other devices are going to be using. And maybe they'll be smarter than you are. Who knows? But we're not quite there yet. So don't worry about that. All right, that was 4. On to final number 5. And that is about smart health devices. Now, you're like, smart health devices? What could possibly be a smart health device? But let me tell you, smartwatch, right? This watch tells me my heart rate. It gives me a constant, like right now, 89 beats a minute. It measures the blood oxygen level when I'm sleeping. Because it measures your heart rate, it can actually give you a warning of potential atrial fib. It's not a device in that like you want to like not go to the doctor because you have a smartwatch, but it's about alerting you of a potential issue. If your heart rate's running really, really super high, you're like, okay, something's wrong. Like I'm at rest. If my heart rate was 120 beats a minute, I'll be like, okay, there's something wrong because my heart rate shouldn't be 120 beats a minute when I'm sitting here, recording a video. I'm not really exerting a lot of energy, right? So it's huge. Like this is a game changer for some people. It also can help you alert to a fall. So let's say you have a child or an elderly parent. you can get them a smartwatch, turn on fall detection. And so if that happens, you can get the alert and you'll know, hey, I need to check in on my child or my elderly parent, which is huge. Also for yourself, if you fall, right, it can alert somebody. It can alert medics. It can alert authorities. Car crashes is another big thing. Like your smartphones now will alert the emergency services. If you're in a car crash, it'll detect it. It'll prompt you like, hey, do you need, medical assistance or whatever? If you don't respond in a particular period of time, it'll automatically call the emergency services and alert them of your location because it has GPS, which is huge. I mean, talk about the peace of mind knowing if your child were out, right? I mean, that's to me like these kinds of things are like so important that it's like, why would you not want that? Why would you not want that? There's just really nothing about that that's like, oh, this is bad. People say, okay, all right, well, let me back up. So people say, oh, well, I don't want all my information on the internet. I don't want Samsung to know about my car crash or, okay, I get that. But the key thing is if you're going to be using these things, secure your accounts. Use the protections to secure your accounts and you can help protect yourself from that. Yes, ultimately you are giving Samsung, Google, Apple, whatever devices you're using access to some of your information. But if it's going to save a life, personally, I'll give them what little information they need to be able to do that. It doesn't, it's not telling anybody anything, like personal. It's not like transmitting your social security number to say you're in a wreck, right? It's just giving you hey, this has happened. Here's the location. That's it. Right. So I don't know. To me, I think it's worth the trade-off to have that type of security and comfort in knowing, again, elderly parents, children out and about, not in your care, you can know they're safe, right? So smartwatches, Samsung makes a smart ring. I think there's another one that makes a smart ring. Of course, Google has a smartwatch as well. Apple smartwatch, very prominent with medical capabilities on the Apple Watch. I know it has some advanced features that I think the Samsung doesn't have. I'm not an Apple user. I don't use Apple Watch, so I can't really tell you all the details about that, but I can sure find out. So if you want me to, I can help find that out for you if you have any questions. But it's huge to me. And the next device I'm going to mention is even more life-changing for some people, and that is a device called Glowcose. And you actually see one behind me here. They are a company that has developed a device, and you can see the device here, right? This device connects with what's called a CGM, continuous glucose monitor. And if you're a type 1 diabetic, you probably know what that is because a lot of type 1 diabetics are using these now because they're so easy, they're so convenient, and it eliminates the need to constantly be pricking your finger to test your blood sugar. My oldest son is a type 1 diabetic. He's in his 30s now. He was diagnosed when he was 6. I would have died to have something like that to monitor his blood sugar with. And so here's how this works. This connects to your CGM, and your CGM will report the reading to a cloud server that will then turn that device colors. So it has a color range that it goes to, and you can see that here as well. And so like purples are like too high. When you start getting really purpley, it means you're getting too high. If you get into the oranges and reds, that means you're dropping too low. And if you get really low, based on the parameters that you set in the actual cloud account, it'll start flashing red. So it's going to alert you like, hey, you need to get something to eat. Your blood sugar is dangerously low. And that's what that means. So imagine, like, my wife is a type 1 diabetic, and that's how we came across these. It has really improved her sleep. And you're like, what? Why would it improve her sleep? Well, when you're a type 1 diabetic and your blood sugar starts to, fall or get too high, in the middle of the night, you have to wake up, get your CGM monitor or your cell phone. Like hers is on her cell phone. She can control all her insulin delivery and everything with her cell phone through an app. So she has to get up, get her phone, unlock the phone. Of course, she's tired, sleepy. Then she's got to look and see what's going on and then apply insulin or, maybe reduce the amount of insulin being given so that way it doesn't continue to allow the blood sugar to drop. And that just like completely disrupts your sleep. Like there's times my wife's up, 3-4 times a night because blood sugar is going crazy for some reason. So with this device here, you still wake up, right? Your body still wakes up because there's, you, especially when you're a type 1 diabetic, something's going on. You're used to what your body feels like, and it's going to wake you up. But now instead of having to get your phone or get your monitor, you just glance up at this. If it's green or blue, you're good and you can just go back to sleep. You don't have to get your phone. You don't have to check your numbers. If it's getting in the purples, you're like, okay, I probably need to reduce, my insulin delivery. So then you get your phone or again, your CGM monitor or whatever, and you reduce your insulin intake. Vice versa. If it's red, you wake up, you look, it's red. You don't even need to look at your phone. I mean, you're going to ultimately want to because, see what you're at, but you just know you got to get something to eat. So you can get something to eat, get some blood sugar back in your body. Or I should say, get some sugar back in your blood in your body. You don't put blood sugar in your body. Anyways, never mind. Funny. But anyway, so it makes it huge. So she's been able to get a lot better sleep because now instead of having to go through all that, she can just wake up, look at it, and boom, it's done. Now, here's the amazing thing about it for me, right? Like I was saying about my son, I would have died to have that. Because back when he was diagnosed, I was constantly up and down, checking his blood, making sure in the middle of the night, everything's fine. Well, if you have something like that and you're a parent of a type 1 diabetic, you just put this in your room. It doesn't matter if your child is sleeping across town at a sleepover at his friends. That's going to report what his blood sugar or her blood sugar is at. It updates every minute. So it'll change colors pretty regular if it's starting to drop fast or, go up real fast. You're going to know because it's going to change colors pretty quick. I mean, how much peace of mind as a parent are you going to be able to have because you have that glowing colors for your child's, blood sugar? I have a nephew who, he's early teens now, but that's huge, right? He can just go about his day. You're going to be able to monitor it even at work. Like, let's say I go to the office, I can have one of those at my office. So I would know what the blood sugar is. It's awesome. I mean, you can have as many as you want on your account. So you can have them everywhere. If you have a small child, that could be life-saving because kids, they don't pay attention. Even your adult kids don't pay attention. My son still in his 30s sometimes doesn't pay attention. So it'd be nice to have something like that just automatically is going to alert you like something is going on that you need to address. Same thing with elderly parents, right? If you have an elderly parent that's a type 2, doesn't even have to be a type 1. You can wear a CGM whether you're diabetic or not. Like I could wear one if I wanted to. But if you have an elderly parent that's in type 2 diabetes because their body is just not processing anymore like it should, then you can connect this to a CGM and you're going to know what their blood sugar is. Let's say you're across town and you all of a sudden see your mom's glucose start flashing red. You can call someone at the house, be like, yo, mom needs something to eat. Your blood sugar is getting too low. Again, life-saving devices. And this is where smart technology really, man, it's exciting to me because when you can impact somebody's life in how they're living and improve that using smart technology, to me, that's a no-brainer and it's a game changer. So, I'm sure there's other devices out there that are more health related. Off the top of my head, I don't know what they are. These are the ones that I use on a daily basis. So I'm able to, talk about them with some confidence because I use them and I know they work and I know they do what they're supposed to do. And That glucose device, again, game changer. Check it out if you're a type 1 diabetic, or if you're a caregiver of a type 1 diabetic, or a parent. Type 2 doesn't matter. If you want to know what somebody's blood sugar is, that's the device to get. So as you can see, these devices are not just cool gadgets. They're your way of getting a smarter, safer, and more efficient home and lifestyle in 2025 and beyond. And so remember, building a smart home isn't about getting every new device that's out there. It's about making sure you're choosing the right technology that works for you and your family. And so it's, again, a little bit of foreplanning goes a long way. If you're feeling a bit overwhelmed, don't worry, I've got you. Don't forget to click that link to get that quick start kind of PDF guide, just like 5 little bullet points to kind of give you some direction. And if you are really stumped and you want some one-on-one, I can do a one-on-one consultation. There's also links in there to do that. And it's very inexpensive. I'll be happy to do that for you. Just let me know. It's smart technology can be very useful and very fun. You just have to make sure and put a little forethought into it. My question to you is, what smart device from this list caught your attention? Drop me a comment below. Let me know. Let me know what you're planning on adding or doing or setting up. Let me know if you've already set something up and how it works. And hey, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and notification bell, and you can stay updated on all things smart home as I post new videos. So thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.